Two vibranium robots possessing hundreds of superpowers descended from the sky. Even the invincible Magneto was so terrified that he kept retreating backward. If his companions hadn't helped open a portal, he would have likely perished on the spot. These were the Sentinel robots, known as the Bane of Mutants. Under the influence of simulation programming, the Sentinel robots could not only replicate mutant superpowers but also select the optimal combat mode based on their opponent's attributes. Even Iceman, with the strongest combat abilities, unleashed his signature move Absolute Zero, freezing the entire battlefield. But the Sentinel showed no concern, immediately activating the solar flare within its body. It then grabbed Iceman by the throat and with a single stomp, Iceman was completely shattered into fragments. Meanwhile, Pyro faced the same problem. The Sentinel transformed into a frost giant and instantly extinguished his flames. Nearby, Colossus was even less of a match. His full-powered punch was easily caught by the opponent. The Sentinel quickly transformed into a metal harder than his own and knocked him to the ground with a single blow. Shadowcat and Bishop knew they were no match and quickly phased through walls to escape. However, the Sentinel's goal was to completely terminate these mutants, and it would not easily let them leave. At the critical moment, the portal opened again and sent them through. Upon reaching the safe room, the two immediately lay on the operating table to prepare for consciousness transfer. At this point, the battlefield was completely one-sided. The surviving companions fought with all their might but were still no match. Facing the murderous Sentinel robots, the mutants were as weak as ants. After eliminating the last mutant, the Sentinel activated its solar flare again, radiating scorching heat throughout its body, melting the steel door of the safe room. It then locked onto its target, but Shadowcat and Bishop no longer tried to hide. At the instant the laser fired, they vanished completely. The base also returned to calm, as if nothing had happened. The teammates who had originally sacrificed themselves were now gathered unharmed in another location. This was why they had fought desperately to protect Shadowcat. She possessed the ability to transfer consciousness. She had sent Bishop's consciousness back several days to lead everyone to escape before the Sentinels discovered them, completely avoiding this one-sided massacre. It turned out that back in the 1970s, a scientist called Trask had been continuously researching mutants and designed the first Sentinel robots. But this was all discovered by Mystique. To avenge the mutants, she ended Trask's life but was captured by humans herself. This made humans realize the danger posed by mutants, and they instead continued to advance the Sentinel program. Subsequently, scientists extracted the secret of her shapeshifting abilities from Mystique's genes and applied it to the Sentinel program, giving birth to the mutant nemesis, the Sentinel robots. But if someone could stop Mystique at that time, or prevent her from falling into human hands, then everything in the future would be rewritten. However, Shadowcat said she had never sent anyone back decades because facing such distant time travel, the consciousness of the person being sent would be stretched to its limits and could lose their life at any moment. No one could withstand a 50-year time journey. At this moment, Wolverine stepped forward, saying that both his consciousness and body could self-heal, and he decided to take the risk. But this was also the mutants' last chance, because if Shadowcat sent Wolverine back, then when they faced the Sentinel hunt again, they would no longer be able to escape through teleportation. Moreover, no one could guarantee that the modified future would be better. However, everyone was already tired of the daily life of fleeing. In the end, they all decided to execute the plan.